where Julian Assange was the rock star of the liberal intelligentsia when WikiLeaks was riding at its apex. I mean, the crowds used to draw the awards. He's won so many journalism awards, it was incredible, from 2008, 9, 10, 11, right around there. And so what happened to that support? What happened to all the newspapers that used to celebrate Julian Assange? Everybody backed off. And why? Because of this Swedish sex scandal case. And so that was the sort of dog whistle, if you will, for the progressive left and the Progressive Alliance to back off and don't support Julian Assange. The Guardian no longer support Julian Assange. All of these stalwart left-wing newspapers and publications, they don't have anything to do with him. He became a pariah, even to organizations like Stop the War Coalition, the National Union of Journalists, nobody. Amnesty International was on record as saying he is not a prisoner of conscience. Can you believe that? Amnesty International. They since recanted after a couple of years of being shamed on social media.
Yeah.
Finally, they started, putting out some tweets and short videos in support. They asked me to do one. I didn't do it just because I'm really against the way that they treated him in that issue, among other things, in the previous years. So, but this is a lesson. This is how you split and divide political opposition, by using a divisive issue that's maybe a political identity issue or a feminist issue. But our governments do the same with waging war now. There's all sorts of tools in the box of the imperialist or the establishment powers, however you want to describe this international octopus. They have many different tools to manipulate and divide and to compartmentalize populist public opinion, be it left-wing populism, be it right-wing populism, be it Corbyn populism, be it Trump populism, whatever the case is. This is no longer a partisan issue. And I'm going to say, in the 21st century, it's becoming very apparent to a lot of people that it's not so much a left or a right issue now as it is a top and a bottom issue. That is the new paradigm of the 21st century, and no issue exemplifies that and personifies that as the persecution, the outright political persecution and imprisonment of Julian Assange. But on that point, Tracy, of that split, where was everybody? Everybody just fled him for years, and only recently have they been kind of tiptoeing back when Sweden dropped the sex charges. Interesting that Keir Starmer was head of the Crown Prosecution Services while that was exposed in the leaks, wasn't it? But speak to that issue in general.
Well, basically, I guess, like so many subjects, there's only one side that's allowed to be published, and that's the narrative of the government and the deep state. And if you challenge that, you're actually marginalized. So my sort of real strong experience from working with Julian Assange and seeing that all of the journalists that were prepared to write about his truth were ostracized from the mainstream media that they used to contribute to. But as a result, we've got the most incredible alternative media now, with the very best journalists, that we can find out everything that is going on. And that whole thing about Keir Starmer, basically, he was the head of the Crown Prosecution Service when Julian was in the Ecuadorian embassy, as you know, to fight extradition to America. It was nothing to do with hiding from his rape accusations. He was begging Sweden to actually come forward and prosecute. Let's have a hearing. But I don't want to go to Sweden to have it, because Sweden has always done what America has said when it comes to extradition. 8 other people have been just flown straight out to America from Sweden. So he said, see me here, we can have that as a Zoom conversation. So basically, over that sort of rape scenario, which was totally exaggerated, the girls never said that they were raped, basically He had sex with 2 different girls because at that time, as you were saying, he was a total star. Everybody was in love with him. He was so incredibly brave. And basically, they found out that he had had sex with both of them, so they sort of said, come on, let's get him to have an AIDS test. And he said to them, listen, of course I will, but I'm really busy. I'm just publishing millions of pages of information which is revealing what's happening in Afghanistan and Iraq, the war where we lied. Our governments were criminals. And those girls ostensibly were his friends and thinking he was a hero. Well, they said, no, we're going to go to the police. So he said, okay, I'll have the AIDS test. They bloody went to the police. The police in that scenario, there was somebody who was extremely ambitious, told the authorities. The police wrote a complete lie statement from the girls. Anyway, Sweden, he stayed in Sweden for 5 weeks. And then the chief prosecutor of Stockholm told him, Julian, you can go. There is no rape case, there is no case on this. So Julian came home. So basically, when he was fighting for his freedom and to clear his name, Sweden bloody well reopened the case because of pressure from our judicial system here. And then when Sweden eventually said, come on, told the Crown Prosecution Service that there is no case, Keir Starmer, who was head of the Crown Prosecution Service at the time, there was an email, or was it a message, found which said, Sweden, prosecutor, don't get cold feet. This is no ordinary extradition. So Julian has known all the time that it's America that wants him. It's really nothing to do with the rape. The rape is completely invented. So basically what we've got to look here is we've got 2 political parties that are basically identical. And so this guy has not got a chance in hell unless we constantly lobby our MP, constantly take to the streets, constantly keep the media reminded that you care. And why isn't the mainstream media reporting on this? You mainstream media, you Guardian, you got a huge scoop out of this. And they actually were criminal. And it was them that published the information. It was them that gave away the secret code. So actually it's the Guardian that should be done. But actually, at the time when the publication happened, Alan Rusbridger was in charge of the Guardian. So he was very brave to have published all of that. But don't worry, he's been booted out. You have Catherine Viner, who is basically subservient to the officials. So the Guardian has always put in the headline, dropped things associated with rape. So they have been criminal, along with all the other newspapers. But please don't trust the Guardian. It is really the pinnacle of lies, along with a lot of the other mainstream media. You need to find your information from the alternative media. Sorry, did I cover what you wanted? Okay. And what else did I want to say? Well, maybe just a little bit about the real hero here is Jeremy Corbyn. Whenever he possibly can, he comes and he holds hands with all 7,000 of us around Westminster. He speaks to camera for Julian. He's on Julian's side. He is a complete hero. So we need to kind of really find out who are our friends. And like you were saying, Andrew Bridgen, another complete star. We've got to find the ones in the politicians who have not been totally captured. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.